All right, everyone. There was a fake account on Twitter. Well, not fake, but a satirical account, political satire, which was being run. And the idea was it was a fake press releaser for Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and it said some funny things. And there's a lot of satire of AOC because she lends herself well to satire when people say crazy things. When somebody is known as basically one step from total legit lunacy, it's easy to make fun of them because it's going to be hard for people to tell if it's real or not. And here's why I think what happened ended up happening. What happened is Twitter banned the account. Now, Twitter quite clearly allows, explicitly within its terms of service, political, properly marked political satire accounts. That is, it's okay to be John McCain's tumor. It's okay to be Mitt Romney's dog. It's okay to say I'm Bush's press releaser. You got to label as this, obvious political satire. You're saying off the wall like zany shit, like, oh, I wish we could go back to Iraq. It was such a great time. That's okay under Twitter's terms of service. Not in this case, though, and I have a feeling here's why. Because people were becoming legitimately confused about whether it was a satire account, even though it was clearly marked, because she says such insane things that it's difficult. It's like, what I can't remember exactly. Which law is it that the label for it's difficult to tell between an actual, like, religious fanatic and someone pretending, like a troll that's just pretending to be, like, religiously inspired, like Jesus or something like that. I can't remember. Was that Poe's law? I can't remember which one it is. It's not Murphy's Law. That's everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Sort of the pessimist's law, you could say. Not that it's really wrong, but maybe a little hyperbolic at times, but not wrong, all things considered, let's face it. But apparently, Twitter got tired of the fact that so many people were complaining about the fact that they didn't understand that it was satire. Because really well-made satire is supposed to blend in. Like, there's a thing called the DPRK News Twitter handle, and I think they have a Belarus one now that I just followed as well. And I'm pretty sure it's run by the same people. It's similar styles. It's sort of like The Onion. The Onion makes a habit of doing this. Or the Babylon Bee. You put out something that looks plausible but would be humorous in the situation because you're mocking someone, specifically within politics, although you can mock anything under the sun. You could mock religion, you mock any random person. And so it's very funny. The goal is to get it to spread around. It's like when we talk about fake news, that's sort of it's actually a weird spinning of a concept that's been going on since the fucking dawn of the internet, which is putting something out there that kind of looks real, get it to go viral, and have a laugh at people for their gullibility. The whole idea is to mock them. The only real differentiation with the fake news shit is, of course, the end goal may be totally different. The end goal isn't to mock the people, it's to fool them. Although the best fake news is always from CNN and places like that. So I guess what Twitter is saying is you're not allowed to make fun of AOC. You're not allowed to make fun of her because she makes fun of herself so well that satire of her, if properly made, is undifferentiated from the real thing. I mean, when you look at the Green New Deal, which, that died with a thud now, didn't it? There are a few people who paid lip service to it, have taken up little tiny elements of it. Otherwise, it's totally forgotten. I remember when some right-wing commentators were flipping out. They're like, oh, you don't understand. This is like a Trump-style approach. It was never like Trump. It was laughed at from day one. With Trump's approach, there were always people that supported it. With Cortez, the number of people who took her deal seriously was so minuscule it almost wasn't worth talking about. In fact, she did more damage to people on the left by making it look good enough so that they paid lip service to it before they realized how fucking crazy it actually was. Most of these people say, oh, this revamp, this reformist deal from this, supposedly attractive young representative, it's going to become popular, so I've got to glom onto it. Like what's her name, Kamala Harris and a few of these others. I think Warren was another one. They glom onto it, hoping to get some of that youth appeal, hoping to get some of the shine of the left, to be out very early saying, yes, I stand with you young leftists. Yeah, I'm going to totally ignore you if I'm elected, but basically it was a campaign strategy. But then they started looking through it, and they realized it referenced cow farts in the most explicit language. It referenced getting rid of air travel and replacing it with cross-Atlantic trains. It referenced getting rid of essentially all fossil fuel usage within 20 years and having nothing but renewable energy, which, by the way, isn't even possible. While I believe not embracing nuclear as a stopgap measure at least, which is asinine and it's never going to happen, and just made all these crazy claims of things that should be done, like, your tax plan's fucked up to the point where even the other Democrats, even most far-left Democrats, didn't glom onto that one. That's how crazy it was. So, see, she does this weird shit, And she says weird things when she's not scripted, because obviously her job, her role is not to be a standard politician, it's to be a figurehead for a broader movement. An ideology encapsulated in a person. It's a little bit dystopian. It's a little bit like a dictatorship light that simply never came to power because it's being led by morons with no sense of any better political strategy in a paradigm shifting against them very quickly. Believe it or not, Trump saved this country. More cerebral individuals in due time will realize this by staving off what could have been essentially a red menace situation within our own country. He shifted the paradigm before they got a chance to get a hold of it, in other words. They could have extended that Obama moving to the left, to the left, to the left paradigm. They failed, mainly because of Hillary Clinton being stupid, the DNC being corrupt, WikiLeaks of all places, and Donald Trump happening to be good at political strategy. So thank you, Donald. The 1% of people that understand the situation a little bit better will be singing your praises for a very long time, even if the lamestream never does, which they won't. So Twitter's saying, in their censorious, dystopian way, Jack Dorsey says, oh my god, political satire of somebody that I like because she says weird shit that I happen to agree with because I went to Burma and meditated a couple times. I can't have that on my platform, even though it is explicitly listed as within the acceptable terms of service within Twitter. Even though political satire accounts, as long as they're marked in some meaningful way, are explicitly allowed, you're not allowed to make fun of this one person because she's just too dumb, and so she can't defend herself effectively against satire. Which is that's the case with AOC. She just doesn't understand politics. It's very, very funny for someone who's, admittedly, she's very educated. She's not a dumb person in the sense of being like a moron or something. She just strategically, as far as optics, as far as choosing her words when she doesn't have a script in front of her, she doesn't know what she's doing. People increasingly getting banned off of various platforms for topical criticism of people who are elected officials is probably the most dystopian thing since they went after finances. Like when they went after people's online banking abilities and shit. Which is why I don't use PayPal anymore. There's a reason for that. Screw PayPal. You should disable your PayPal service too. Look, just use your card. Your bank is statistically less likely to go after you than PayPal is. So it's an enhancement of your fiscal security, I suppose. By the way, in all these cases, like even, what was it the other day, Roosh, who I've sparred with. I'm no fan of Roosh, but I don't think he should be masked to platform. He got kicked, I think it was it Instagram and WePay kicked him off within 24 hours of one another. Yeah, there's no and it's not even like with Facebook and Instagram. With those, it's like, okay, they're both Zuckerberg companies. In his case, though, Instagram and WePay, they're not associated with Zuckerberg, are they? So there had to have been some centrality. When these things line up in this manner, there is centrality involved. That's just the way that it works. There's some coordination. Whether it's a third party is pushing to have the person censored on both platforms, you know, in like the craptivistic sense, like they're mass emailing both companies at the same time, hoping for a result, like craptivists do, like share blue shills or something. Either that or the companies coordinated in amongst themselves, the latter being even worse. In either case, it's kind of dystopian. We should be moving away from censorship, not towards it. Censorship is always bad. It's never been used for benevolence in the history of mankind and never will. It's very interesting to see a clearly marked satire account on Twitter get banned because it was too effective. That's what this fundamentally boils down to. The satire was too funny. It was too piercing. It was too good in every way, and so we can't allow it. No, you can make dumb jokes, but you're not allowed to make really good ones. Too effective when you expose a moron for being a moron. That's about all. Peace out.